Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the possibility of Ukraine getting some new aircraft and the trade and series of trades that might bring that about, and whether or not it would really matter, whether or not it would provide a real change on the ground, because there's a lot of talk about something and talking about the logistics of it, and many times some big things are being overlooked. So, the United Kingdom has kind of indicated that they are looking into and are pretty willing to provide Eurofighter Typhoons to countries that have MiG-29s that they are willing to give to Ukraine. So, one of the countries that operates MiG-29s gives their aircraft to Ukraine. The Ukrainians know how to fly them. And then they get Eurofighter Typhoons from the United Kingdom. All right. Now, the Typhoons that the UK looks to be willing to give up, they're older, and that has been brought up. It's worth noting that the MiG-29s they're not fresh off the lot either. So the overall logistics of moving him seems pretty simple. The question is, does it matter? So for the countries that are currently operating the MiG-29s that would give them up and give them to Ukraine, they run into the issue of having to retrain their pilots for the Typhoon. The problem with that is that a lot of the countries that operate the MiG-29, they're kind of on the front lines of any possible future Russian aggression. And you have to remember that a lot of the defense apparatus in Europe believes that's likely. They definitely have a belief that is more likely than I believe it is. But they're going to make their decisions based on that. So during this period when the countries that are operating the MiG-29s are getting familiar with the new aircraft, they're weaker. Their defenses are weaker. So there may be an issue there. And then the reality is that the MiG-29 is kind of outmatched. It would help Ukraine a little bit, but this would not be a game changer. The current Russian aircraft, they're better. And it's probably not going to shift the balance that much. I would think that if NATO was going to start looking at providing aircraft, they would want it to matter. If they're going to cross that line, they would want it to be pretty decisive. The MiG-29s, they're okay, but they're not going to shift things on the battlefield to the degree that I think NATO would want to actually move forward with something like this. Now, again, that's NATO. Individual countries that may be NATO members might decide to go it alone. But at the end of this, when you're really looking at it and you're looking at the final result, it seems unlikely, because at some point somebody is going to kind of point out that even once Ukraine gets these, they're not going to shift things as much. They're not going to change the balance of power a whole lot. They'll help, sure, anything helps. But if you're going to cross that line, this is one that when you cross it, you want to make sure that it's going to matter. So there's a lot of rumors about this going around, about this deal. It might happen, but I don't see this as a massive game-changing thing, even if it does. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.